Are you tired of playing solo and getting bored way too fast? Or maybe you are sick of trying to find games that let you and your friends team up in a way that actually feels fun? I understand how frustrating it can be. Most co-op games either get repetitive or have poor matchmaking. Some just are not fun unless everyone is playing the same way. But you do not have to deal with that anymore. In this video, I have put together the best co-op games you can play in 2025. These games are not only fun, but truly made for playing with friends. So get ready, because your next game night is about to get a lot more exciting. Then, without talking too much, let's get into the video. Let's start this list with Don't Starve Together. Don't Starve Together is the multiplayer version of the original Don't Starve. It takes the same survival gameplay like collecting resources, crafting tools, and fighting monsters, and lets you play with other people. Up to 6 players can join a game either with friends or strangers in public or private matches. This changes how the game feels because now you're not surviving alone. You're working as a team. You have to share food and supplies, help each other build a base, and stay alive together in a world that is full of danger. Just like in the original game, each character in Don't Starve Together has their own special abilities and stats. Some might be better at fighting, while others are good at farming or building. This means it is important to work together and plan who does what so everyone can help the group survive. The game also includes several modes to choose from, like Survival, Endless, Relaxed, Wilderness, and Lights Out. Each mode has different rules and challenges which give you more ways to play compared to the single-player version. The biggest difference between Don't Starve and Don't Starve Together is how you play. Don't Starve is a single-player game where you try to survive on your own. It focuses on your personal skills and choices. In Don't Starve Together, the focus is on teamwork. When someone dies, it affects the whole group's sanity, and you all need to manage resources as a team. The game is updated more often with new content and balance changes made especially for multiplayer. Next, we are talking about Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley stands out as one of the finest indie game releases ever, not only because of its engaging single-player experience, but also due to its surprisingly rich and enjoyable cooperative multiplayer mode. In this mode, up to 4 players can come together to collaboratively build and manage their very own farm, creating a shared world filled with farming, exploration, and community interaction. However, the multiplayer experience is structured around a single owner player who hosts the farm while the other participants join as farmhands. This setup means that the continuity of the multiplayer game depends on the owner being online, as the characters and progress of the other players are saved within the owner's specific game world. Despite this limitation, the cooperative mode introduces several unique and compelling features that enhance the gameplay experience. For instance, each player retains the ability to marry their own non-player character, allowing for personal storylines and relationships to flourish independently within the shared farm environment. Additionally, the game allows for the construction of extra player housing in the form of cabins which can be added to the farm property to accommodate each participant. This not only provides a sense of individual space, but also helps to foster a feeling of community among the players. Furthermore, players can independently track and complete quests, giving them the freedom to pursue their own goals and contribute to the farm's overall success in their own way. Overall, Stardew Valley's cooperative mode offers a robust and deeply satisfying multiplayer experience that balances shared objectives with personal progression, making it a standout feature in one of the most beloved indie games of recent years. Next, we have Borderlands 3. All Borderlands games fundamentally focus on cooperative multiplayer gameplay, though they remain fully playable in solo mode. This co-op emphasis shapes much of the gameplay design and player experience across the series. Among the entries, personal preferences often elevate Borderlands 2 due to its compelling story and memorable main villain. However, from a gameplay standpoint, Borderlands 3 is widely regarded as having the best mechanics in the series. This is particularly significant for cooperative play, where smooth, engaging combat and progression systems enhance the shared experience. Borderlands 3 excels in gameplay fluidity, progression depth, vault hunter builds, and visual presentation, making it the most enjoyable for players primarily interested in shooting and looting. The game also implements co-op, seamlessly minimizing any barriers or hassles to joining friends and playing together. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands offers a creative Dungeons & Dragons-inspired twist on the Borderlands formula, providing a fresh thematic experience. However, it is generally considered less replayable compared to the mainline Borderlands games, which maintain stronger longevity through their core mechanics and content. The original Borderlands and Borderlands 2 still hold value, especially for new players interested in exploring the series' roots. However, it is important for newcomers to approach these older titles with realistic expectations, as their gunplay and mechanics feel outdated compared to the more refined systems in Borderlands 3. And looking ahead, Borderlands 4 is dropping in 2025, and it looks like they're really leveling things up. They're adding a brand new lobby system, co-op difficulty that adjusts to each player, and even the option to fast travel straight to your friends. Basically, everything's getting streamlined to make playing together easier. So whether you've been with the series for years or you're just thinking about jumping in, there's definitely something for you in the Borderlands universe. Next, we're talking about the one and only the best game in the world, Sea of Thieves. When Sea of Thieves came out in 2018, it didn't go smoothly at first. A lot of people weren't happy with the game because it didn't have much content and felt a bit empty. It was hard for the game to grab a big group of loyal players right away. But the developers at Rare didn't give up. They kept working on the game and listened to player feedback. Slowly, they made it better with regular updates. Over the years, Sea of Thieves has turned into a popular and much-loved online game. Now it attracts all kinds of players. Some like working together in a co-op, others enjoy fighting other players in PvP. Some prefer sailing the seas alone as solo pirates. Playing with others really makes the game more fun. Teaming up with friends or other players gives you more ways to play smart. You can split up the jobs. One person can steer the ship, another can handle the sails, someone else can watch for danger. It really feels like a true pirate crew. But if you like playing alone, that's fine too. The game still lets you enjoy the sea at your own pace. Rare also keeps things fresh by adding seasonal content and special events. These updates bring new goals and rewards and give players more reasons to keep playing. Because of all this, Sea of Thieves has come a long way since its rough start. It has become a fun and exciting pirate adventure that players keep coming back to again and again. Next, we're talking about Baldur's Gate 3. When played solo, the game centers around one main character who makes all the important decisions and controls the companions directly. This gives a strong feeling of being the hero of the story, guiding the adventure through careful choices and actions. However, when played in co-op mode with others, the experience changes significantly. The adventure is no longer controlled by a single person, and decisions can come from different players, creating a dynamic and unpredictable journey. This shift brings a sense of relief and freshness as the story can unfold in new and surprising ways. Different playstyles between players add to this variety. For example, one player might prefer talking and negotiating while another might choose a more direct or aggressive approach. These contrasting methods lead to new scenes and outcomes that might never appear in a solo playthrough. The game is not perfect. Sometimes managing your items can be tricky, and some parts of the user interface are a bit complicated. Occasionally, quests can be confusing or have bugs, but the developers fix these problems regularly. These small issues don't take away from how great the game is overall. Baldur's Gate 3 is a special game that comes once in a long time. It honors old role-playing games, but also brings many new ideas. It is a love letter to Dungeons & Dragons and shows that video game stories can be exciting, flexible, emotional, and funny. Whether you have played many RPGs before or want to try your first big adventure, Baldur's Gate 3 is a must-play. It is more than just a game, it is a full experience. Next, we have Lethal Company. Lethal Company is one of the most surprisingly fun co-op games I have ever played. It mixes horror, humor, and teamwork in a way that keeps you both scared and laughing with your friends. The game is simple to understand but very exciting. You go out to collect scrap and try to get back to your ship without dying in a terrible way. The atmosphere and sounds are spooky, and every new area feels like a new challenge. The monsters are scary, but the game also has a funny side that makes dying feel oddly enjoyable. What makes the game really special is playing with others. You need to talk and work together, but there is always some chaos which creates some of the funniest moments. Whether you are shouting at a friend to hurry back to the ship or watching someone get caught by an elevator, it never gets boring. For an indie game, Lethal Company offers much more than you might expect. It gets regular updates, has strong support from the community, and a gameplay style that makes you want to play again and again. If you like games such as Phasmophobia or Barotrauma, you should definitely try Lethal Company. Don't use Discord for voice communication. There is excellent proximity voice chat which enhances the experience greatly. Most importantly, go in blind and have fun. Next, we're talking about Castle Crashers. Castle Crashers was my favorite Xbox Live Arcade game when it came out in 2008. The developers, the Behemoth, kept adding new content like characters with special powers, animal companions that help you during the game, and weapons that make your character stronger, or sometimes make the game harder if you want a challenge. In 2010, the game was also released on the PlayStation Network, which included some exclusive mini-games. Later, Castle Crashers was brought to PC through Steam, but the first version didn't work very well. Thankfully, the Behemoth fixed the problems with updates, making the game fun and playable again. Castle Crashers is a hack-and-slash role-playing game that many players enjoy, even those who don't usually like this kind of game. Sometimes it can feel a bit repetitive, but as you level up your characters, the gameplay changes a little. The game stays interesting because each level has different scenery, enemies, and funny moments. It's definitely more fun to play with friends than with strangers, so try to get your friends to join you. Finishing the game can be tough, but that's part of the fun, especially if you want to unlock all the characters, find all the animal companions, and collect every weapon. You can try the game first by downloading the demo. If the price seems too high, it's a good idea to wait for a sale or look for bundles that include Castle Crashers. Next, we have Satisfactory. Satisfactory is one of the best video games I have ever played. Even though it looks like a game about building bases and crafting, it is really about planning, thinking carefully, managing logistics, and exploring. Anyone can build a base or make items, but designing a whole complex that works well and looks nice is a real challenge, and that's what makes this game special. The game is very relaxed and lets you play at your own speed. If you want to handcraft 10,000 computers, you can do that, but it will take a long time. It's much better to automate things, and the game does a great job of making you choose between doing things the easy way or the efficient way. Many games have one best strategy or weapon that everyone uses, but Satisfactory encourages you to try different approaches and rewards you for putting in the effort to build factories and systems. The way the game respects your time is amazing. If you only have 10 minutes, you can explore, collect items, or tidy up your factories. If you have hours, you can build complex machines and factories. No matter how much time you play, you always make progress. The game is also very low pressure, resources never run out, and if you die, you just pick up your stuff again easily. This makes the game feel fun and relaxing, giving you freedom to enjoy the world and its resources. The gameplay itself is very smooth and responsive with movement and shooting that feels sharp, almost like an action game such as Titanfall or Call of Duty. On top of that, the game has great music, helpful quality of life features, awesome developers, and funny story dialogue that reminds me of Douglas Adams' style. Overall, Satisfactory is a fantastic game that's easy to get lost in and hard to stop playing. Next, we are talking about Schedule 1. At first, I wasn't sure about Schedule 1. I didn't think it would be different or better than other similar games I had played. The graphics didn't look very good to me, and I thought there might not be much to do in the game. But actually, it is a very good and carefully made game that really stands out, especially because one person made it all by themselves. You can see the hard work and creativity from the start. The game feels real and interesting. The way it works is smart, and it encourages you to explore slowly instead of rushing through it. This is not a game you should rush in. The world has many small details, and the story happens in a natural and personal way. If you try to finish it quickly, you will miss a lot of what makes it special. It's also fun to play with friends. Whether you explore together, mess with the police, or share funny ideas about making different drugs and production methods, Schedule 1 is great for playing with others. It creates many funny and memorable moments. For the price of $10, it is definitely worth it. You are helping a solo developer who made a polished and original game. In a market full of rushed or boring games, Schedule 1 feels fresh and real. If you like indie games with good atmosphere, storytelling, and smart design, this game is a great choice. It is still in early access, but already has a strong base and exciting new content coming soon. Next, we have Split Fiction. Split Fiction nails that perfect blend of chaos and playfulness without ever taking itself too seriously. The team behind it clearly knows how to keep players engaged without piling on unnecessary stuff. I really liked Hazelight's previous game, It Takes Two, and really enjoyed A Way Out. When Joseph Fares announced a new game, I felt hopeful. At first, I wasn't sure about the setting and characters because I didn't know what to expect. However, Joseph Fares' ideas were very impressive. The new game, Split Fiction, is similar to It Takes Two, but is harder and more exciting. It has many creative ideas, mini games, and fun abilities to use. The game takes players through different science fiction and fantasy worlds with many different stories and challenges. The variety of gameplay is amazing and keeps players surprised. Most puzzles in the game are simple, but sometimes players might get stuck. The story is interesting and has some emotional moments, but it is not very memorable. The characters are likable and enjoyable to play with. The last part of the game is very surprising and shows impressive technical skill. It makes players wonder how the developers created it. Split Fiction is great for playing with a friend, especially thanks to the easy-to-use friend pass system. Just keep in mind that the player using the pass won't earn trophies. Also, the game doesn't require an EA account or have any software DRM, which many players will appreciate. In conclusion, Split Fiction has set a new standard for co-op gaming in my eyes. The overall experience bursts with childlike imagination, celebrating everything we love about video games. It's a joyful tribute wrapped in a fresh, creative package that keeps surprising you at every turn. I wholeheartedly recommend this game to anyone seeking a memorable co-op adventure. Finally, the last game on this list is Repo. Imagine you're a wobbly little robot working for a shady company. Your job is to break into cursed buildings and steal weird stuff like printers, fax machines, and haunted microwaves. Sounds silly, right? But that's what makes it so much fun. So, what kind of game is this? Repo is a mix of funny corporate satire, cooperative horror, and crazy physics-based gameplay. Think of it like if games like Lethal Company, Phasmophobia, and Human Fall Flat combined into one strange game. You get dropped into spooky, randomly made buildings where you have to steal valuable items and bring them back to your ship. Sounds easy, but it's not. Everything quickly goes wrong. You can't carry anything without it flopping around like a wet noodle. Your teammates can be both helpful and a pain. The monsters don't like you messing with their haunted furniture, and someone always forgets to close the door, letting monsters in. Playing with friends is where the game really shines. The funny glitches and chaos make it hilarious. I've seen teammates dragged by ghosts, fall down elevator shafts with expensive TVs, and try to sneak past monsters while carrying huge fax machines. We usually fail, but it's so funny you don't even care. The story is weird but interesting, with a creepy boss voice guiding you. Right now, there aren't many maps or tools, but the game is so fun that it doesn't matter. The developers are active, fixing bugs and adding new content. Yes, it's early access, so there are bugs like clipping through couches, but they're mostly funny, not game-breaking. The biggest problem is not having enough content yet, but if you're here for laughs and chaos, there's plenty to enjoy. That is it for today's video. I ended up with 11 co-op games I have played, but I know there might be awesome games out there that you have played too. So please tell me in the comment section which co-op games you have tried. I really want to hear from you. I also hope to do a second part of this video. If you want to see that, then it would be a real support for me to consider it. So make sure to hit the like button and share this with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss new videos like this. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.